live. It's time to troll. How you all doing? I hope you're having a good evening. If not, I'm going to make it more entertaining for you because we got interesting things to talk about, fascinating things, and entire Twitter is alight. This was something that I expected. People will sweep under the rug. It will disappear. I made a video about it, and a lot of people are saying that I was not providing all the information in the video. Nothing that I said in the video is incorrect. It's just that, like, when I released it, it was 5 or 10 minutes after the event. And so, in my video, I said, imagine if this was a right-winger. Imagine if this was a populist. Like, you would not hear them stop talking about it. Like, they will say that it's wrong to support the AFD, that they will, like, demand that everyone from the AFD disavows. And I didn't know that apparently this guy has retweeted AFD or is showing support. And so, how am I wrong? Because literally that's what's happening. Like, everyone is now riding up Elon Musk's ass. Like, don't you know that there was a terrorist? Don't you know? Are you unaware? Imagine, you know, like, when you had, like, that shooter that happened to be trans, right? Like, imagine if you'd go to, like, LGBT activists, like, literally, you can't support this anymore. You can't. No, you can't. Here's my question. Like, what if, hypothetically speaking, he would have just been, you know, an average Muslim? Like, would they go to mosques and say, like, but do you not disavow? Do you, So this is, like, one of the things that I have is the double standard. Like, can we have, like, a way that whenever there's something like this happening, like there's the same way that we behave regardless if the person is from the left or the right? Like just pick and choose one. You know, just don't have, like, this really interesting double thing. But like, yeah, let's analyze a little bit what happened. Sorry about that. I had my throat parched. Let's analyze a little bit what happened. So this guy apparently he is from Saudi Arabia. And when Saudi Arabia is sending people to Germany, apparently they did send their best because he had a PhD. Now he went into Germany because he committed crimes in Saudi Arabia, and so Saudi Arabia wanted him extradited. Like, they were like, look, he did bad things to young women here, and we would like to punish him, as is the way. And Germany went like, no, he is ours now. He is at the bosom of Germany. We will protect. Now, I don't pretend to understand many things. Like, I'm not wise enough to grasp all of the knowledge, but here's my question. And hello, Endymia. Here's my question. Would a guy with a PhD, right? I assume he's a smart fellow. Like, smart as in high IQ, not like a good person or anything. No, just like, if you're a person that's got, like, a brain oriented towards crime and you happen to have intelligence, if you commit a crime in one country and want asylum in another country, wouldn't it say that you're an atheist and you're against Islam grant you asylum in Germany? Because you can say, it's like, hey, I'm an atheist, they'll prosecute my ass there. And when you claim you're an atheist, like, you don't have to prove it, right? Like there's no way that someone can discern whether you're genuinely an atheist or not. I mean, you can be an atheist and still go to mosque, right? But, like, I don't think, like, anyone follows you if you declare you're an atheist. But yeah, you can be an atheist and you can go to mosque. You can say, well, I'm going for the community aspect. I don't believe in Muhammad. I'm just going for the community aspect, or I'm going because, you know, I want... So, like, there's no way to prove if a person is an atheist or not, other than take his word for it, right? So, like, allegedly this atheist guy He supports the AfD. He dislikes the fact that Germany is importing Islam into Europe. So his solution is to what? Commit an attack on a Christmas market. Can anyone explain to me how this is like an anti-Islamic action? Because like this is what he said. Like he said that he doesn't like Muslims, so he drives a car into a Christmas market. Like I'm not saying that like what he said this is real. I'm pretty sure he typed the words. But we gotta ask. It's like, do you take a person's actions or do you take a person's words? It's just like a little bit weird, you know. It's just weird. Now here's the thing. I didn't even talk about the ideology. I didn't even bring it up in my video. What I did bring up, and this is something that really bothers me from Romania, by the way, because a lot of European nations are looking towards Germany as if, you know, they're this amazing nation that seems to have everything figured out. And one of the things that they figured out is like, if we take away citizens' liberty, if we take away some of their free speech, you know, we crack down on what people are allowed to talk with each other, then we can keep people safe. And it's okay. Like, I seen what this guy was posted, and it seems that the authorities were aware of him. Why weren't people kept safe? Like, you had the censorship, right? Like, you know how to censor. It's like the best thing that the German government is good at. So you can censor people, but for some fucking reason, and, you know, okay, it happens. Who gets fired over this? This is the logical line of questioning. This is what every single citizen should ask in a Western democracy. Allegedly, it's a Western democracy. Who gets fired over this? I fucking guarantee to you, if this question was asked every single fucking time something bad happened, who gets fired over this, then you would have people a little bit more competent in charge. Like, if there were protests right now demanding the resignation, I don't know who. Like, whomever is responsible for censoring. Right? Like, whomever is responsible for keeping people safe. They failed. Why is it like every single time it's like we have a responsibility? It's like, yeah, okay, if you have a responsibility, you get the privilege. But a responsibility means that when you fail, punishment needs to happen. And punishment in this case means that people should be fired, right? So interesting, you know, like our rights here in Europe, especially regarding free speech, are being constantly eroded, but we don't actually get to see an improvement in our day-to-day lives. I mean, this shit doesn't happen in Poland, does it? And Polish people have free speech. How the fuck does that work? Look at 2007 Glasgow airport attack and spot the difference. Yeah, I know, bipedal species, I know. He lived his truth, yeah. He probably converted to Christianity and disliked the idolatry of Christmas markets. I don't even get it. Like, what the fuck are Christmas markets? I don't even know if we have them here in Romania. Or maybe we do, but we don't call them as such. Is it like a little market where you buy shit? Don't they have like those things? Like from what like here's the thing. When I went to London around Christmas, I saw like the most authoritarian fascist shit that I have ever seen in my life. And I understand why it exists. Like, I'm not disagreeing on why it has to be there. But the fact that you got into a position where it has to be there, as a Romanian, it boggles my brain. Because we don't have this shit in Romania. Like, you know, maybe the German government could humble itself for once and talk to the Romanian government and figure out, like, how we do it. Because for some fucking reason, we don't have terrorist attacks, and we don't have Christmas markets the way you guys do. So this wasn't in Germany, it was in London. The Christmas market was surrounded by a huge wall, to the point where if there was a zombie apocalypse, none of the zombies could get in. Right? So, like, the entire thing was surrounded by a concrete fucking wall. I don't even know how they managed to raise it, because it wasn't like gates or anything. It was a fucking wall. And it had like an entrance and an exit. And at the entrance and the exit, you had like two people that look like SWAT. I'm not an American, I don't know the guns, but they look like the type of thing that you have in Counter-Strike. Hello, Kubusk. Look like the type of thing like you have in Counter-Strike, going ratatatata. And I'm like, okay, so are they getting ready for a zombie invasion? Like, what the fuck? You know, it's kind of like, despite the thing that you're supposed to feel safe, it feels unsafe. Like when you see people almost like they're getting ready for The Walking Dead, and you're in the zone. You're like, holy shit, what if something bad actually happens, right? Luton, thank you for the 50 Swedish kroners. Like your takes. Merry Christmas. It's not Christmas yet, but thank you. No, like seriously, the thing that I saw in Britain is that now they have like what do people on the internet call them? Like diversity posts. Like they're like these little posts that are now around the Christmas market, so you can't drive a car in there. Why doesn't Germany have that? Are they too expensive? Are they made in Russia? Like seriously, why can't you just keep your citizens safe? Like it's not the first time this shit happens, right? And so it means that if there's a pattern, you can predict it so that it doesn't happen again in the future, right? So like if there's a Christmas market and you know that some of your people are having difficulty when driving around these places, then why not just put those posts? Or raise a fucking wall or something. I don't know. Like there are solutions. If you don't know, contact me. Hire me, and I'll give you a couple of solutions on how to keep people safe. Jesus fucking Christ. Diversity bollards is what they call them on X, yeah. Diversity pillars, yeah. The way the media was responding to this, like the articles, holy shit. It's almost like the most sanitized thing. It's no wonder that people think that the media is the PR of the establishment. The way they write the headlines, it's like the HR hag is writing it. Car drove into Christmas market. You know? The car driver, it's like, fuck, use the words, terrorist. He was trying to shoot terror for political reasons. That's literally the fucking definition. Car drove. Fuck off. It wasn't a Tesla. It wasn't a car driving itself. Imagine if they did this with the mass shooting in America, like gun shoots, you know? I get it, but like, come on, you know, knife stabs. It sounds fucking moronic, isn't it? It wasn't the car from that horror movie. What was it called? Clementine? Fuck, I forgot. There was like a horror movie with a possessed car. Honestly, like when you think about it, it's the dumbest scary monster, like the most easy to escape as well. All you gotta do is to sidestep and then it can't run over you. You know, like if you're going to troll and you write these sanitized headlines, like hire me, I'll write you a good one. But like Christmas market crashes into vehicle, you know, like we can sanitize further. Christine, yeah. I mean, no, seriously, isn't this like taking the piss? Like treating it like it's some public relationship? Just say what the fuck it is. No one says that. You know, like, no, seriously, like picture this, right? Let's say that we're back in the year 1990. And this shit never happened, right? You never see something like this. And then you happen to be at a Christmas market and you see the horror, and now you're describing it to your friends, right? Like, would you say, a car drove? Like, no, it was like this guy, and this guy just went, right? Isn't it like how you'd frame it? Imagine like explaining the 9/11 like that, you know, like planes flew into two buildings. It's like, I mean, I guess that's what happened, sure, but like, isn't there a little bit more than that? Like, can we not, like, why, who? I'm surprised they haven't used the word Easter worshippers again. What was it? The United States used that, Easter worshippers. I was like, wow, that's very interesting. Yeah, I noticed how the word terrorist is now almost exclusively used to like right-wingers and people that don't kill anyone. I mean, I'm not saying that what they're doing is necessarily good or not, but it's just like, come on. Like, you're telling me the guy that gets in a car and runs over other people, like that's not something that the media labels a terrorist. But people that went out during COVID without getting vaccinated, oh, those are the terrorists, right? What else did we got? We got In America, the media, no, sorry, the politicians use this about parents that were against teachers. Like some teachers were, well, what did the spat even come from? Like, I even forgot. But I know that the parents went against the teachers' unions and they were called terrorists, right? So, like, the people that shouldn't be called are called, while the people that literally fit the definition aren't even mentioned. Well, the difference between a terrorist and a mass murderer, I mean, first of all, like, it doesn't have to be a difference, right? Because you can be a terrorist and a mass murderer, or you can be a terrorist without mass murdering. Terrorism is like the committing of violence in order to achieve political ends. That's what terrorism is. We can actually expand on that, whether or not you achieve the goal. If you achieve the goal, like for instance the founding fathers did in the American, right? Like when you fought against the British, then you're not a terrorist. Then you're a revolutionary. But if you don't achieve the goal, you are a terrorist. Actually, it is quite interesting because what would happen if the American revolutionaries lost? Actually, yeah, I don't think the word terrorist existed back then. They would have been called traitors, right? And they would have been hanged. Yeah. Motive is the difference. Yeah. A revolution is different? Yeah. But, like, what if you're the guy that starts it? Well, what if you're the guy that fires the first shot, you know? Anyway. I noticed that people are up on Elon Musk's ass because they're very upset that he supports the AFD. Now, the reason Elon Musk probably supports the AFD is because, from my understanding, he wanted to start some businesses in Europe, and he realized that we have something that America lacks, and that is regulations. And so it's very difficult, next to impossible, to open up, businesses in Europe. And I think, like, this is what pisses him off. And so, hold on, I'm looking at some things. Okay. And so, like, he support the AFD, and a lot of people are upset. It's like, oh, wow, it's like election interference. There was this guy from the European Union saying election interference. Motherfucker, you guys interfere in the United States election when you have, like, the Zeit, what is the Spiegel, right? What is it called, right? The one where you have, like, Donald Trump beheading the Statue of Liberty. Isn't that election interference? And then, if Elon Musk would have said, oh yeah, we need to get the Greens. The Greens, they must win in Germany because otherwise the planet is dying. 10 years to stop the spread. If he said that, I'm pretty sure you'd have said, wow, Elon Musk, such a visionary, such a forward thinker. That's, whoa. Man, it's so double-sided, isn't it? Anyway, someone made this and wanted me to talk about it. So it's a new Netflix movie. And people are saying, Matt Walsh, anime is satanic, is saying, if I was to make a parody of woke Hollywood trailer, this would be the one. See, a lot of people don't get it. I dislike Matt Walsh for saying anime is satanic. It's like, well, how can you listen to everything else he said? I don't know, man. I got this ability to just separate into boxes. Like, someone can say something incredibly stupid and fucking dumb, but at the same time, I can still listen to them. Because, baby, once in a while, they can have a golden nugget. And this trailer is absolutely right. A lot of people are complaining. So apparently this is about, in World War II, it's based on a real story where women were drafted in order to help with sending mail from the soldiers to their families, right? So it's an important role. Obviously, when you're thinking about World War II, you're not thinking, about these types of stories. But I've got nothing against, a movie trying to make like some more esoteric, less known story. Like, that's fine, you know, but the writing is fucking atrocious. So let's see.
Charity Adams, welcome to the Women's Army Corps.
Gentlemen, my wife and I have been talking.
Like, the moment I just heard my wife and I, no one says that. No man says that. I don't know why, especially like in this time age. Like, the only way a man says that is if they're a liberal, right? But this is happening during World War II. Liberals weren't invented yet. No one spoke like this. Me and my wife. My spouse and I. So I was talking with my wife. No one says my wife and I. Again, this takes place in World War II, right? It's not at a university campus.
About the problem.
By the way, it's not a problem. It's just immersion breaking. It's just like, what the fuck? You know, like, the moment you hear it, it just sounds wrong. Like, people don't talk like that. And then you realize, oh, so there's an activist that tries to normalize this way of speech, and they're using a movie in order to try to manipulate me, and I am like a moron paying for his salary, so I'm paying for someone to manipulate me. Wow, that's nice. That's literally what goes into my fucking mind. I'm sorry. It's just, it is what it is. It's the little things.
Welcome to the Women's Army Corps.
Gentlemen, my wife and I have been talking about the problems we are having with the male and our soldiers' morale.
Well, Mr. President, this assignment has proven to be a logistical nightmare. Even tried the Women's Army Corps.
You mean the White Women's Army Corps?
Well, is there another?
Is this how people acted during the time period? Like, if you're trying to recreate, can you try to immerse me? This to me feels as if the writers are using the characters like VTubers, like sock puppets, in order to air their frustrations and grievances. I'm from Romania. I don't give a fuck about Americans' modern politics, right? Like, I didn't oppress anyone in the United States. I don't know this shit, yet you are presenting this to me as an international product, and you expect me to care. I would care if you could actually represent the time period properly, like have the characters act as if they're from that actual time period. Now, if America was racist, and you're showing me this black lady talking to generals and shit, and she's giving them sass, well, it probably wasn't a very racist country, now was it? Like, if you want to talk about actual racism, right? Imagine someone talking like this, like a Jewish person talking like this to a Nazi officer. It would never fly, right? Why? Because they were actually racist. Now I'm not saying that America wasn't racist, but the people who made this apparently believe that that's not the case. Apparently they believe, like, no, actually... Like, you can't have it both ways. In other words, it's written by morons.
Unspeakable, speakable.
Adams, you and the 6th AAA Battalion are headed to Europe.
Should you open it?
The Postal Battalion?
They think the only thing we good for is deliver some damn mail.
This is a trope that has to die. Like, seriously, the people that are pushing this trope have brain damage and do not understand humanity whatsoever. The idea that women want to go and get blown up. Who the fuck told you this? Where did you learn about this? Dude, like, look at what's happening in Ukraine. You have men that are being rounded up on the streets and they're crying, that they're screaming. Because, like, and there's the same shit in Russia. And this was the case in almost every single country in war. People don't want to go to war. They don't want to get blown up. Now, of course, you know, like, you have some people in the beginning that volunteer and there's enthusiastic and shit. Alright, you know, people that are doing their duty. But, like, if someone is enrolled, if someone actually goes in combat and they're told, it's like, okay, you're going to be placed in an auxiliary line and you're going to be the male. Like, every normal, sane person, every single person that has, like, 2 neurons in their brain would be like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, sweet baby Jesus. Thank you so much. You get to do what the fuck you're going to do, right? Like you're going to get the honorable service. You're serving your country. You're getting the pension. You're getting everything, and you're not in the fucking front line. What is it like? Hollywood constantly tries to portray that women are upset that they're not in the front line. Like again, I would just have to ask, like, lady, are you okay? What the fuck is wrong? Why would you want to be in the front? Like, well, and so, you know, again, you're looking at Ukraine, like, how many women are upset that there's not equal representation on the front? It's such a Hollywood trope. I swear to fucking God. I'm not saying there aren't some outliers. Like, sure, you know, like, there are men that generally want to volunteer and they generally like to fight. Okay. But women? Where? In Ukraine? Where? Like, most people try to leave the conflict. Most people don't want to go into the grinder. Imagine, like, having your daughter watching this. Like, what is the message? She should go to war?
Would you like to see all the hangars, ma'am?
How many are there?
All of them.
Oh my God.
Ladies, we have been ordered to provide hope. The soldiers have not heard from their loved ones, and their loved ones have not heard from them. When there is no mail, there is low morale.
To be honest, like, the thing that pisses me off is that this would actually be an interesting movie. I would actually like to see this. But the way it's presented, it's like, oh my God, I'm placed in an auxiliary role. Like, so like, who's supposed to do this? Like, isn't there, like, someone that would actually have to perform this function? Because, yeah, it's actually really important for morale. Like, imagine you're in the front line, and you're writing to your girlfriend, and she's not responding. And you're thinking, oh, Jesus, is she having sex with another man? Right? Imagine if the mother is writing to the son, and she's not getting a response. Like, oh my God, has he been blown up? So, like, no, this is actually important. And by the way, you know, I'm looking at the casting. Do you remember that when Harvey Weinstein still had a job, they actually casted this thing? It was called a superstar. Why was it called a superstar? Because the person that's actually paid to cast people would actually have to get off his ass and go look and find someone that looks more beautiful than anything ever. Like, out of 350 million Americans, you would have to find the one that is the most gorgeous looking, the superstar. Now, you know, Hollywood doesn't do it anymore, but China does do it. South Korea does it. European filmmakers do it. Americans, why have you embraced a culture of rejecting beauty? And by the way, you know why I say this? It's not necessarily that like the casting is the way it is, but the makeup team, where the fuck are they? Do you not have makeup teams anymore? Why did you fire all of them? Look at how black women appeared in American movies in the 90s. I don't fucking care if it's the military. Don't give me, like, there's always a cope. There's always a reason. Like, look, we gotta be ugly because the script right, because they shut the fuck up. It's just an observation. You know, like look at the Orville and compare it to everything else. Look at Cobra Kai and compare it to everything. It's not just about this movie. It's everything. Americans, you love ugliness. That's the thing. You love massive corporeal manifestations. You love hag-maxing. Like, let's face it. I generally think, looking at what's happening on Twitter, like, the moment you see pleasant aesthetics, you just feel the need to coom. Like, Americans are some of the most intense coomers in the world. And the only way for them to stop cooming is to see hag-maxing. This is what I'm led to believe by Twitter. So I don't know if it's true or not, but take it up with Twitter.
6 AAA Battalion!
Forward march!
Do they actually do this? I'm saying, like, in the auxiliary, like if you're doing the mail. Do they actually do the drills and shit? I don't know how it's like in America, but like usually people are more practical. Like if you just have a job, like okay, no time for all of this performance, just go and do it. I may be wrong. I don't know how they did it in World War II in America.
They did not send us because they thought we could do it. We are here because they are sure we cannot.
To be honest, like I really like this part, you know? Like it's like you can have an interesting story, but it's so fucking cringe. The delivery is bad, is what I'm saying. I like the idea, like yeah, sure, you know, like they were sent to do something that no one thought they would do it, and then they pull it off, and it's actually an important job. But don't bitch and whine. It's like, oh, but why I'm not on the front line? Oh, my wife and I were like, come on. And you know, another thing, like, people don't say my wife and I. They would say Clarence and I, right? Or Angela and I were talking. Yeah, like, here's another reason why it sounds so bad. Like, people don't usually say my wife and I. They name her, right? Am I wrong, though? Like, is my mastery of the English language not perfect?
We are no strangers to making a shack a home. We are at war, and when you are at war, you make do. Unlike some other folks here, we have the most to prove. Now is where you show.
I love the fact it's like, I like the other folks here, we got the most to prove, and then it shows like men dying on the front line. Whoever made this trailer, please resign. Just please resign. Like, no. Especially now, when people are constantly complaining about the ESG, wokeness and shit. Like now is not the time to have like these interesting jokes where it's like, oh, like this is how I can interpret it. Like the person who made the trailer was taking the piss. There's no other explanation. It's like, all right, let's have the speech where she's like, we got the most to prove, and then you have like literally the next shot, men running around and like planes crashing in the ground. It's like, okay, right. And by the way, seriously, no, like let's go back to this. No, I'm not going to go past this so fast. Why the fuck would any sane person want to be here, right? So, like, wouldn't you want to be here rather than be here? Like, please explain to me why the fuck would they... Now, if you have to be here because it's your duty and shit, like, that's another story, you know? Like, you gotta be here, or maybe, you know, you're poor and you're starving, and it's like, okay, I'll join the army, and then I can use the money to go to college. And I can get some of these things. But, like, what person in their right fucking mind would say, yeah, no, this is bad, this is horrible, I would rather be here? Who the fuck thinks like this? Jesus. Speaking of gatekeepers, says Ram, imagine what anime dubs could if they hadn't chased Vic out, so it could be all ops, be all hags. Yeah, apparently, from my understanding, he didn't do it. Like, it was never proven, right? And for some reason, no one apologized to him. Are Romanians proud that Ukraine is still winning? Asks not a bad account. The support for Ukraine is still strong in Romania, despite what the media says. I don't know if they're winning or not, because there's a fog of war, right? It looks like a forever war. I think, like, we're going to see what Trump says when he gets into office, and we're going to reassess from there, because, like, obviously he's going to set the politics in Eastern Europe. But yeah, like most Romanians, I suppose, like, they have gotten more used to the situation, because in the beginning there was a lot of fear and panic. I mean, the war is over the border, right? So, like, people were very agitated and worried. But now not so much. So, yeah. More diapers for your kid. Thank you, Hakabi, for the 25 SARS. No, I wanna check the trailer for Warfare. I don't want to check any other trailer because I can get copyright striked. Women in World War II had actual helpful roles in the military, like a doctor, nurse, cook, etc. There's not actual combat roles. I don't even care that much, to be honest. I don't even know if people... Like, here's the thing, right? If I ask my wife, hey, if war happens in Romania, would you volunteer? Like, what do you think she will say? Ukrainian is losing with more time passing. I think I'm a very cynical Eastern European person, and I don't like to sugarcoat things. But from what I'm seeing and my assessment of the situation, I think that the American and the European intention is to keep the war going as much as possible to grind Russia. Right? So, like, if you're looking at it from, like, a purely strategic, purely cynical situation, the more the war goes on, the more people Russia loses, the more their economy suffers. So, like, if you're looking at this from, a geopolitical point where it's, like, Russia is a competitor to the world order, right? Like, I mean, them and China, right? Like, if they were to ally, they could rival the U.S., And so, like, the more the war goes, I think that's the actual goal here. And the reason I'm betting this on is that even Zelensky was complaining. It's like a lot of times we were asking for stuff and they didn't give us it, like, until the last hour. So, like, I generally think, like, they're giving them just sufficient enough things to keep it going a little longer without losing. Right? Like, they probably don't want to win. They don't want to lose either. So that's my take. That's my personal observation. Russia isn't being grinded at all, though. They're losing men. That's what being grinded means. Like, they're losing men and they're losing resources. Like, the war costs artillery shells and men go in there and die. No, they are being grinded. And on top of that, it's international sanctions. I mean, there were reports of the fatalities, and it was like hundreds of thousands of soldiers, and this is just the manpower alone. And then you have, like, the tanks that are destroyed and the machinery that's destroyed. No, like, again, that's my assessment of it, right? I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe people want Ukraine to win. I don't know. Modern China has hardly fought any battles, much less a war. And they haven't won any, yeah. I just went to Netflix account on YouTube. It seems they just made a trailer after trailer, day after day. I see. Reports from whom? Nothing but propaganda. Well, obviously there's this thing called the fog of war. And during every single conflict, both sides are struggling to raise morale of their soldiers. Like, they're not going to announce catastrophic losses, right? But in this situation, no, both sides agreed on the number of Russian casualties. Both the Russians and the Ukrainians said that's in the hundreds of thousands. But, like, hold on a little bit. No, both sides, like, okay, I generally, dislike talking with people that are entrenched into one side of the argument. Like in your mind, this conflict has been going for 3 years, right? Do you think Russians have invincibility? Like, they go there and no one dies? I mean, you have a war between two major countries, right? And the border is hundreds of kilometers long. The conflict is all over bombs, explosion, artillery shells, and how many soldiers do you think died? 5, 10? See, this is what I don't get. You have these people, they go around on the internet and they radicalize themselves. It's like talking with other people and they agree constantly, right? And then they come up saying the most dumb shit. It's like, oh, who reported? The hundreds of thousands of soldiers? Really? Like, no, you know what? It's just like Russia lost 10 men. That's it. Like, from the beginning of the war up until now, they had like 10 casualties. Ukraine, massive casualties. 5 million men lost. It's like Russia, only 5. Fucking hell. Like, I would understand if you pressed me on something that was a little bit more controversial. Like, the fact that I would say that hundreds of thousands of people died, how is this even remotely controversial? The war has been going on for years now. Dios mío. In fact, like, I'm actually surprised it's not in the millions yet. Not to mention, it probably is. Like, there was the battle of, what the fuck was called? Bakhmut? Or some shit like that? And, again, you can't really tell because there's fog of war, right? Like, unless you get the battle reports, you never fucking know, but... Apparently, like, I read in the papers that NATO is running out of shells. And I'm like, holy fucking shit! Like, again, you don't need to actually see the battle or the battle reports. But if they were running out of shells, it was probably one of the most intense artillery battles in my lifetime. And, you know, after the war is over, obviously, you know, we may actually look at both sides and find out what the fuck happened there. But that alone was probably causing a lot of death. Because the thing is, like, in war, and this is true since World War I, a lot of the deaths aren't done by small arms fire. Like apparently, like, people, when they shoot at other people, they usually, I don't know if they, like, try not to kill or they miss or something, but, like, most soldiers survive small arm fire compared to, like, other types of engagements. No, like, the most casualties are from artillery strikes. And now I think it's also from drone strikes. High-intensity conflict is much larger scale, mostly incomprehensible for generations that have not seen actual war. Yeah, it's probably pretty fucked up. KD ratio was 1,000 to 1. Well, usually the defender, right? The people defending, they're going to have a better KD ratio. Simply because, like, when you're defending, it's a lot easier for you to get supplies. Yeah, the morale is higher. They're fighting for their motherland. They're fighting for their families, right? So, like, this is true in all battle throughout history. The defenders, the ones that have the home advantage, they're unless, of course, yeah, obviously, like, if you have, like, inferior equipment. So if you're, for instance, like in Iraq, right? And the Americans, like, fly planes over you and you can't hit them, then, well, doesn't really matter. But, like, if we're talking about this type of conflict, especially, like, trench warfare and shit, yeah. I'm not surprised if the ratio is in favor for Ukraine. They are both attacking and defending. Yeah, no, like, that, now it's true. Yeah, like, some of the front from the Ukraine is attacking and some of the front from Russia is attacking. So, like, yeah, they're attacking and defending. I'm gonna say this is fake, because until Australia conscripts me to fight Russia for some reason, this literally does not affect me at all. It affects you economically, I guess, but it also affects you on the fact that Russia is still a nuclear power, and the longer this conflict drags, the worse. And on top of that, there are NATO countries in the area, right? So, like, if the war spills out, then we can be looking at the prospect of a World War III. And I know that it's low of happening, but I would prefer if it doesn't, you know? Like, I would rather live in peace. Like, with the time period we're in now, it's called the long peace. So I would prefer if it keeps remaining that way. Germany in 1939 did not have those numbers at all. You need 3 times as many soldiers to invade the country. It's true, but, like, a lot of them are in the auxiliary positions, right? Logistics is important. Like, food just doesn't teleport into soldiers' arms. So, like, you need logistics. I like 4X strategy games that actually take into account this. Like when you're invading someone, the unit upkeep goes higher. Usually for warfare, the employment over open space is 3-1, but in forests you are taking 5-1. Entrenched positions can't be done without artillery support. Attackers need numerical advantage. It's true, and not to mention, like, if you have a city, apparently, it's like if you are in a parking lot in an apartment complex, like apparently that's actually more difficult to destroy than I thought. Because I thought like buildings are weak, right? Like you fire an RPG in a building and no, apparently it doesn't work like that. And so if you're fighting for a city, it's very difficult for the attacker. And yeah, that's where one of the biggest artillery battles happened. Australia isn't in NATO. We have military alliance with US and UK, but we're not obligated. See, I didn't know that. I actually don't know which the NATO countries are. I know the ones in Europe, but like I don't know outside of Europe if there's any other NATO countries besides obviously the United States. I don't even know if Canada is in it. Australia does whatever rewarded thing other Commonwealth countries do. I generally wouldn't know what Australia does in a World War III, because, like, on one hand, China kind of bought off most of your economy. It would be actually difficult. I think you may actually try to stay neutral for as long as possible. Car parks are structurally reinforced like crazy to hold millions of tons for decades. Oh, I guess, well, that makes sense. Yeah, Australia would probably not stay neutral if the conflict is within Taiwan. But I don't think like there's going to be a conflict with Taiwan, so you're safe. By the way, I want to show you an Anna Kasperian Spurg out. Like this was hilarious when I saw it. I didn't believe it. Hold on. For later, if you care, I had a desk job where I did my wartime job from the United States within the Air Force. I volunteered twice to go to war, and I had to do a bunch of extra training to slide in with the Army, so if you want to know. I was doing office jobs where I had access to everyone's private career and relevant medical records. Every time women were selected to go to war or a remote assignment where they had to be somewhere weird for a year, more than half, suddenly had mental health issues and physical issues that prevented them from going. These women actually were selected of 1-3. I knew women who volunteered and did crazy shit like pick up body parts and terrorists that had blown themselves up, so those women exist. But women who volunteer to go into shit is 1 out of 20. There's like a huge conversation about women in the military, but like you can't really have it because everyone is, going to call you a misogynist and shit. But like there are things that you probably don't even think about that affects women in the military. Like for example, and I know this story from actual guys serving in the military. Imagine that you and your guys are under artillery fire, right? And you have to dig in a trench, and you gotta sit there, and it's cramped. There's not a lot of space, and you're afraid that you're going to die. Like everyone is just hunkering down. No one wants to get out because like there may be a sniper. And then you have like a couple of ladies coming over, right? Like there's like reinforcements, and you're getting some women. Okay, now, despite the fact that the space is cramped, you gotta make like different sleeping accommodations. Like the guys sleep in one point, the women sleep in other. You gotta make like when you wash, right? It's not like Starship Troopers. Like the women want some privacy, so you gotta now create that. And the toilet, like a man can just go and he can take a piss wherever, he can take a shit in a hole and bury it. Well, with women it doesn't work that way. And so like you're adding these, I mean, they're not insurmountable, But like the idea of mixed battle units, like there was a study that shows it actually reduces ineffectiveness, and partially is due to this, right? Like partially that, like, okay, even periods and tampons and stuff, like a woman's body maintenance is a lot different than that of a guy. Like, it's a biological fact, and so you gotta account for that. And if it's peacetime and you just do some military drills, like, that's one thing, that's fine. You know, you got a military base and everyone has the barracks and there's like 2 bathrooms. But when you're in an actual war zone and you're afraid that a sniper can blow your head off, well, all of a sudden it's becoming a little bit more of a problem. Like, who goes to dig the ditch for the for the ladies' bathroom, right? Who makes the pivot for that? I seen a few female medics, not pretty. Mixed battle units only work if the enemy is weaker. No, I think it can work in support, right? And even then, like here's a way that women can get out of service, like, very easily. And many women have done that. You get pregnant. No, seriously, like, think about it, right? Like, if war is coming to Romania, well, actually, no, let's take Ukraine, right? Like, war is coming to Ukraine. If you're a man, you're fucked. Like, the borders are locked, you can't leave, and you can get conscripted, correct? Alright, if you're a woman, like, let's assume that women had to serve as well. Well, if you're a woman, all you gotta do is get pregnant, and then you're not going to serve. Not a bad account. When Ukraine wins, how do we divide Russia east-west? I mean, if Ukraine wins, their win condition, they haven't even stated their win condition, but I assume, like, they want Crimea back, right? Like, this would be the the perfect Ukrainian victory, right? They're not going to go into Russia. So no one is going to divide anything. It's just like, I guess, like, the way it would work is they get Crimea, they barricade the border, and they just hold like that until the Russians give up and they have a peace treaty. In addition to period and mental problems, women have a different body structure. Legs are often broken. Special equipment is needed. Just read about women in Israeli army. I haven't really looked into it, but it's like just basic common sense shit, right? Like, if you're going with the girls camping, you're not going to shit in the same toilet. Because, like, if I go with the guys camping, I can just whoop up my cock and piss on a tree and that's it, right? Or, like, someone can just take a shit and dig a hole in the ground. But, like, if you have a lady, like, she wants privacy, right? Like, she needs privacy. And then it's like the scandal as well, right? Like, you're going to keep men that haven't seen pussy for like 1 year or maybe 2, and they're in peak physical condition because they're soldiers, right? And you're going to mix them up with women. All right, now what happens when one of them gets pregnant? Like, do you reprimand the soldier? All right, well, now you lost one man. Right? And well, actually, you lost the woman as well because she has to go home. But apparently, like, talking about these things is misogynistic just by bringing them up. It's like, okay, I just think they're a biological reality. Time to play some Path of Exile 2 and give China my money and data. I don't know if they actually harvest your data, because, like, this is not... I mean, maybe it is. China is the parent company, right? Like, Path of Exile 2 is made by Kiwis, and the company that commissioned the game is China, so, like, maybe they don't harvest your data. You peed in public, that's a court-martial? Oh, goodness gracious. You underestimate just how evil the government is, V. They would absolutely send pregnant women in the front lines. It's not about evilness. First of all, like, there's no economic, like, okay, you're doing combat operations, but you still need to maintain your country's economy. Like, if you send all the women in the front, like, who's driving the economy back home? And where are you going to get the new generation? But secondly, there's already laws that are stating that, yeah, like, in most countries that recruit women, they do state that if the woman gets pregnant, she's going to go home, right? How do you call it in America? Fit to serve, right? It's like due to health reasons. It's kind of like getting, I don't know, diabetes or something, getting required to go home. Instead of sending pregnant women to the front, they will just forcefully do an abortion. I mean, they're not lacking soldiers. Like, this is another thing that I don't understand. Like, none of these countries are lacking soldiers. Like, America has, like, 350 million people. Like, I would understand, you know, if World War III happens and it's so dramatic and everyone dies and there's, like, no one else and it's like, okay, can we conscript women? But no, like, this is not what we're talking about. It's so fucking weird. No, I will not redo the stream, Daddy Wade. You're going to have to rewatch it. Alright, let me show you Anna Kasparian and then I'll fuck off. New research on female game characters uncovers a surprising twist. Female gamers prefer playing as highly sexualized characters. Oh my goodness. Listen to this. Like, this was the funniest shit that I have ever seen on the Young Turks. I don't even know how to put the title. I want to talk about this tomorrow, chat. So, like, if you can find out a good title for it, let me know.
I think Kamala Harris will...
Look at this. Trending in Romania. Islam. Oh, inshallah.
I think Kamala Harris will probably win in a cakewalk for governor.
No!
Okay.
No! What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I'm telling you the reality, whether you like it or not. Are you
What are you doing?
Democratic voters...
Hold on, I want to see this again. Look how aggressive she is. Look how aggressive she is. It's almost like she's arguing for her life, you know, like if you have like oh shit, this is the thumbnail, chat. This is the fucking thumbnail. Hold on, let me crop it. This is just like oh sugoi. Hold on. It's gonna happen in your backyard, Anna. No! Not in my backyard!
I think Kamala Harris will probably win in a cakewalk for governor.
No!
Okay.
No! What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I'm telling you the reality, whether you like it or not.
What are you doing?
Democratic voters in California love to obey. And so...
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm gonna move, Jank. I'm gonna quit my job.
She's gonna go to Texas. Gotta go to Texas. Do I have someone from Texas? Are you ready to receive more immigrants?
I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna move.
She's gonna cross the state lines. She's gonna do what Kyle Rittenhouse did. No. She's gonna cross it, chat.
I'm not saying I'm in favor of it. I'm telling you what's... Like, if the Democratic Party said, we anoint Kamala Harris, a giant percentage of Democrats in California would go, yes, we obey. We will take the loyalty oath. It doesn't matter how bad she is.
This state cannot survive another incompetent Democrat.
Oh, my God. Oh, chat, I'm dying.
Leading it.
Leading it. Democrat like Kamala.
No, we just can't. Okay, like, anyway, so like people are egging her on.
Anna, it doesn't fucking matter. The bureaucracy is running California, Anna. You know, like she's at the 2016 level of realization. But wait until she finds out that it's the unaccountable experts that drive the Californians. That's what actually matters, Anna. Like politicians, you know politicians, they're fucking actors. They go there, they read from a prompter. That's what it takes to be a politician. You read from a prompter. You got a team of people that tell you. It's like they write your fucking scripts. You got legislation. You think politicians know legislation? Like most of the legislation looks like a fucking tome from Lord of the Rings written in legalese. Why do you think that is? It's the same reason why in TV shows magical spells are in Latin. It's to give like this idea of authority. In reality, you can write most of the laws in just normal speech, like an instruction manual, and it would be like a terms of service, right? You don't need legalese. But the reason they do it is so that the fucking politician doesn't know what he signs. Like, he needs advisors. He's got a team of experts that read and tell him. Doesn't know fucking shit. The only thing that politicians care about is to manage public opinion. That's it. If there's a problem, it doesn't fucking matter, right? You don't fix the problem. You manage the opinion. Like the problem for a politician is like this. Look, we want to bomb the Middle East, but people want social justice. Like people all of a sudden in our country started caring about minorities and shit. And we need to bomb the Middle East. It's like, okay, well, put a rainbow flag on the fucking drone then. And everyone cheers. It's like, you manage the public opinion. That's what politicians do, Anna. Don't fucking matter if you get Kamala Harris. Who fucking cares? The only thing that matters is the circus. Oh, you're going to see her on TV and she's going to cackle. That's it.
Okay, apparently she's like in a wait and see mode. How about you wait and see like your way out of public life and go do what you're supposed to do. Go work in the private sector, go do the lobbying thing, whatever it is, but do not run as governor of California. Yeah. Do not.
I think Kamala Harris.
Okay, well, I guess Anna doesn't seem to endorse strong, independent women of color for governor. They're eating the dogs, Anna. Oh my God, you think she's at that level? Horia, my God. Ram, don't lie so the lawyers get paid. That's a byproduct, though. Ram, Anna realizes the power of manifestation. Oh, God. Anna is evolving. I mean, she is kind of based, you gotta admit. She said no to the Daily Wire, so. I'm getting a bit hot and bothered. Hey, seriously, though, the only way you can change the system is if you have a politician that really doesn't care. Like it should be an outsider, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Like when Arnold Schwarzenegger became governor, like he actually wanted to do something. The reality is that most of the politicians can't do it. Like the system is designed in such a way, knowing that, okay, at one point people are going to vote for someone inconvenient, and they already know how to deal with him. The only way that you can literally fuck with the system is if you, like, get into office specifically not to vote on anything. Right? So, like, you get as a politician and you just fucking refuse to vote. It doesn't matter, like, what it is. You don't vote it. And so, in that situation, what would happen is that the bureaucratic machine takes over. Like, scandals would appear. You know, like, people would say that you touched them 25 years ago. Like that type of shit. With no evidence. However, the good news, though, is that you would manage to stall, right? So, like, you wouldn't change anything, but at least things wouldn't get worse. And I'm gonna be quick from DW when she starts talking about Israel. Has she spoke about it? What does Zara think about Israel? Does Zara Kasperian have opinion about Israel? I think she's going to be pro-Palestine, right? Like she's a populist. That's what populists take. She's not taking money from any lobby. She's not associated with any brands. So yeah, I think she's going to be on the side of Palestine with Hassan Piker. Please correct. Like, does anyone watch the Young Turks? This is my assessment. Like, I genuinely do not know where she stands, but that's what I think. The Young Turks is kind of falling apart. She's going to get a good gig somewhere. Yeah, I'm not worried that Anna won't have a job. Like even without the Young Turks, she can literally open her own YouTube channel. She can start streaming. Would you watch Anna Kasparian play video games on Twitch and talk about politics? I probably would. Israel should be mandatory. Everywhere should have an Israel, especially Palestine. Israel has had some military successes. Didn't they manage to like break a record and fuck 3 countries in a week? Like the thing with Syria, I'm pretty sure it's them. Like there's no fucking way. Like they reacted so fast, almost to the point like they knew it would go down the way it did. Then they had like that thing with Iran, right? Like they killed the leader, and then they killed the next guy after that, and then they killed the guy after that. Didn't they have like the thing with the cell phones and the radios and all that shit? No, they're having like a pretty good day so far. I would say that the front line is a little bit unstable in some places. And so, you know, like they don't really have everything 100% under control. But like other than that though, I wouldn't say that they're having a bad day. Anyway, right. I'll end it here. Thank you guys for watching. Well, they lost in Lebanon. Well, they can't win everywhere, man. They're not like the Americans. They can't deploy on that. Like, how many fronts have they opened up? Palestine doesn't count. I mean, come on. They're not getting much resistance there. That's what I'm trying to say. But like they're fighting the Houthis. They're fighting the Hezbollah. Yeah. Anyway, right, I need to poof. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Take care.